Hello, welcome to Revive and Rise. I'm your host, Melody Parrish. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to continue with the stories and lessons that I learned from my brother. I may have several pauses or times that I get emotional. And I thank you for your patience. The grief's still so real. And it just comes out of nowhere sometimes. And that's okay. People tend to think that, after a while we should be over something. There's no timeline for grief. And I think it's important for all of us to know that. So thank you for your patience. I'm going to I'm going to talk today about how I learned to use the gifts you have to help others, whatever gifts you have. And I can start by saying that my dad, if I want to trace back the ideas that I have and the foundation that I got for volunteering, for helping others, I would say that came from my dad. When I was younger, he would read me bedtime stories. From as young as I can remember until probably when I was in the 4th or 5th grade, something like that. So it was quite old. I was quite old, older. But it was some of my favorite memories as a child. I can't remember anything that really made me happier than a bedtime story with my dad. So he also took this time to teach me how to pray. So we would say our prayers first, and then we'd talk about anything that I prayed about, and then we would read a bedtime story. And, it was from nursery rhymes to golden books, the little golden books, to chapter books like Ramona and Beezus and, Judy Blume books. And so the first thing that Daddy taught me about praying was that the first people that I needed to pray for were those people that needed shelter, clothing, and food. And he said that I had to pray for those people first before anyone else because they were the most vulnerable. And it was at that time that I really learned the importance of our vulnerable friends. And if I didn't, he would just stop me and just tell me, no, you need to, that's great to pray for, but let's pray for these people first. And I remember in the time after our prayers, us talking and discussing about different things about that maybe people struggle with or people have trouble with. And we talked about, I grew up loving Mother Teresa, and I really liked the Pope as well. And Daddy talked about that and talked about, the goodness of helping others and different things like that, and these different figures that really made that their life. and he explained that this wasn't just something you do, it was part of who you were as a human being. So I learned that at a young age. And it created a strong foundation. Then, as I watched my brother throughout life and in life, I noticed, I began to notice that he would do little small things, for others, and I'd watch. And then I'd watch what seemed to be a small thing to anyone else was really a big thing for him because of all his struggles and all the troubles that he experienced in life. My brother, he loved music, and he loved to sing, and he loved to play the keyboard. You could always find him doing one or the other, either singing or playing the keyboard. He had perfect pitch. He could read music as well, but he had perfect pitch, so he could listen to something and then play it right back to you. It was quite amazing to watch. And he would, whenever he sang, he would always sing to the top of his lungs, and it was just a beautiful thing to see and to hear. We would frequently go to concerts together, and that was kind of our thing. And he would talk about it a lot. And he would talk about how he loved music and he loved singing. And one day he wanted to use that skill for something good to help other people. I have a dear friend that kept in touch with him in various ways, and she shared her children with him. At a point, he loved to color pictures, and he loved getting mail. It just made him feel important. And I had one of my friends, one of my dear friends, would write him cards, and he would love that, and he would love getting those cards. And then he would color pictures, because he loved to color pictures. And he would send her colored pictures, and he would send my other friend, he would send her children colored pictures. They would color pictures and draw for each other back and forth. And that meant so much to me that they took the time to do that. And I hope they know that it meant so much to him. It made him feel so important and so loved. And it was so beautiful to watch him just light up. He had 2 pictures that were colored by my friend's sons. He had them framed and hanging up in his room. But he kept all of the pictures and cards in a drawer, and he said he would read them from time to time and look at them from time to time. And I'm the same way. I always keep cards that people give me, and I just read them, and it makes me think about those people and think about those times, and it just brings me so much joy. I love to write to people and to get mail from people, because it takes a special effort to go and send a letter rather than just send a text. Texts are great, and I love getting them too, and I love writing a text. People write it. I love writing people texts. There's something special about getting a card or receiving something that somebody took the time to write and mail you. So that was important to him, and he would send me pictures as well. I have some framed, but it brought him so much happiness to do that. And he felt so important. Just that little thing that seems so insignificant, and it takes like 5 or 10 minutes for us to write. A simple thing, or a simple activity that can take like 30 minutes or an hour, and we're having our children do it anyway. And then just going to mail it. That simple act meant so much to him. And it's something that we do, or we can do every day. Also, but anyway, back to my brother. So he would do that. Another thing that he talked about all the time was starting a band. And I remember the first time that it came up, he said, Mel, something that really troubles me is that there are people hungry in Africa and South America. And when people give them things, all they give them is rice. And then he said, can you believe eating nothing but rice? And then he said, and they have no choice of what to drink. They just have water, and that's it. And for him, he couldn't understand how to ever just have water and rice. And he didn't understand that this was food for people, and these people were starving. All he could think about was that these people are hungry and they don't have a choice. And he told me, he said, I wouldn't only want to drink water. I would want to drink tea or juice or milk, and I feel like they would too. And it just showed me again how he saw people as people. These people that are starving in other countries are people just like we are. And that's what he saw. He didn't see people that were less than us or more than us, but they were just like us because they were people. And it was so nice to see, and so nice to know that he felt that way. So he decided what he wanted to do was to start a band. And he said, you know, we would go around and play for people, and then we'd take the money that we made and build a grocery store so that these starving people could go in the grocery store and pick and choose what they wanted to eat and drink. And when he told me this, I was just so, surprised because it was such a surprise because just with all his struggles that he had and just his thought processes and those things that I knew about him, just to know that he thought about those kinds of things, it just made my heart so full. And he just looked at me and he said, you know, you can be my backup singer. And he said, and I want JoJo being my backup singer too. And that JoJo is what he called my friend Joanna. And he just loved her and her boys. And so he said, I want both of you to be my backup singer, and I'll play the keyboard, and I'll sing, and we'll worry about the rest of the band later. Maybe Daddy can play the guitar for us. And I thought a lot about that. I thought a lot about that idea, and that the love that he just poured into that idea. And he talked about that for several years. He would talk about it every time I saw him. And we would plan things, and we would discuss the songs we would sing. We even would just practice. He would and he wrote some songs, and he said we could play those. And those are such special moments, and it made me think, those are small things he could do. you know, coloring pictures, writing cards, and coming up with a way to use his gifts of song and music to help others. That was his way of doing things and his way of making this world a better place for somebody. For people that he didn't know, but that he knew were struggling just like he did. People that he may never meet, but he understood that they were in trouble and he wanted to help. He wanted to help some way. And that was an amazing lesson for me. And it taught me to use whatever I have, whatever I can do, just do it to help people. Just do it to help others. I am for anybody who knows me, I am a talker. And I will talk to anyone. And along with being a good talker, I'm a fabulous listener. I will listen to anybody who wants to talk. So frequently, you'll find me chatting with someone, even people I don't know. And those conversations will usually last however long the other person wants to talk. And so, you know, that's what I can give. I can also give my ability to work. And I mean like labor work, lifting things, doing things with my hands, I can give that too. And so one thing that I have done in my life is talk to people, listen to people, see people for who they are, for where they're at, and just show them love. And that has helped me, using that gift has helped me tremendously in life. You know, I have learned so much through just doing that. I feel like both parties, the giver and the receiver, have benefited from that interaction, however small or long it is. And I also have given the work of my hands, and feet. I can't. I can't express how that has helped me too. I remember the biggest thing that I remember, and the most special time that I have had in doing that is volunteering at the Shifa Free Medical Clinic in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I met some of the greatest people there, some wonderful people, people who love other people, people that would sacrifice so much for other people. I saw a kindness and a community and a fellowship and a family. Those individuals, the volunteers I met there, the clients I met there, the professionals that I met there, I view them like my family. I can't say enough about how special that time was for me and what a great impact it had on my life. I highly recommend for people to go and volunteer there. I highly recommend for people to donate food to their food pantry or money to their medical clinic. Donate your time. It's the Shifa Free Medical Clinic in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It is part of ICNA, ICNA, and that is a national organization of the Muslim community. They have a slogan, Muslims for Humanity, and it's an amazing organization. They're and brilliantly run, and they help so many people. So I highly recommend, if you're not in the South Carolina region, if you find an organization through ICNA, you won't regret it. And you will help so many people. And I think that it's so important for us to use the gifts that we have to help others. It's little things that we may not think are important, or we may not think anything about doing because it's just so natural to us, so normal to us. But it's so appreciated by others. Others who either can't do those things or don't know about those things. And it can be a way for us to share our gifts and teach each other, through art of some sort. If you are a good painter or a good crafter or a singer, a dancer, whatever it may be, sharing that art with another individual, or just taking the time to talk with another individual about those things can be so important and can leave such a lasting effect on them. Just simply doing something we do every day and we just don't think about. But using those gifts, maybe you love to read, just going to a retirement home and reading to the residents, or going to like some of the Head Start programs and some of the programs teaching our youth to read, or things about reading. Those things are so important too, and can have such a lasting impact on those individuals. No matter what your gifts are, we each have beautiful gifts inside of us that make us who we are. And we also have the ability to share those gifts with others and to shine that light into others' lives. We just have to take advantage of that opportunity to share, not to hold back and to dim our light, but to share that light and let it burn bright. There's the little song that we used to sing at Bible school, and this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And then, like, the second verse is, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm going to let it shine. And I feel like that is some of what's happening in society at this moment. Society is trying to hide our lights as human beings in some way or the other, either by having thoughts, making us feel shame, making us feel guilt, putting on a layer of stress over our light that we have, taking time away from us so we feel like we can't do those things because we're so hurried and we're in such a busy state. We have to do this, we have to do this, we have to be more, we have to be bigger, we have to be better, when we need to just stop and take a moment with each other. Stop and take a moment to shine our light and to share our gifts with each other and to enlighten someone's life. And I think that if we just start to do that, it will build. It will build, and the world around us will change. The world around us will get a little brighter, will get a little easier, and you'll notice if this little patch of world, that's the community around one of us, and that little patch of world around, in the community around another of us, and if we start to just add these little patches of communities up, we can change so much of the negativity in this world just by coming together, just by looking at each other and saying, you know what, you may be a little different than me, but you are a human being. And I'm going to share my gift with you. I'm going to take the time to share my gift with you. And I hope that you will take that time to share your gift with me. Whatever it may be, the simplest of acts, the greatest of acts. You know, some of us can give money, some of us can give other things, other physical things. Some of us can just give time. Some of us can give art. Some of us can give knowledge. Whatever we can give, whatever we can do, that's what we should do. And that's who we should be. And we should make it into who we are, that we just naturally do those things and naturally are aware of each other and just bring more love and kindness into this world simply by being who we are, because those are the gifts that are in us. And if you're not sure about your gifts, everybody has special gifts that are just them, or special gifts that are them that they can give in a special way. Everyone has a gift. You may have more than one gift, but everyone has a gift. And so I just invite us to just like my brother would do, share your gifts with each other. take a moment, think of your gift, and share it with the world and see what comes from that. You'll get so much joy and you'll bring so much joy and you'll learn so much by doing that. I want to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank you for listening. And I just want to remind you that whatever struggles you may be going through, whatever life brings you today, just remember that you do not have to struggle alone.